Welcome to the deep dive. If you really want to understand how civilization got started, how we went from just, well, guessing about things to having objective truth, you have to look at measurement.
That's right. The China Metrology Institute calls it the foundation of human civilization, and it really is.
Absolutely. So today, we're tracking the invention of these tools, the ones that basically created order.
Exactly. That's the mission. We're looking at the technical evolution, how these things developed, but also what problems were they actually solving?
And the impact, right? The massive impact on trade, government, even science down the line.
Precisely. So where do we start? What's the very first sort of confirmed piece of evidence we have?
Good question. The sources point to ancient Egypt.
Yeah, the absolute earliest is this tiny limestone equal arm balance, like 4 inches long, found in tombs dating back maybe 7,000 years, around 5,000 BCE.
Wow, 7,000 years. Just a little piece of stone.
But that little stone,
Yeah.
that's basically the ancestor of every scale, every way we have of ensuring financial accountability today.
Okay, so let's get into the tech. Those early Egyptian balances, even later ones around 2,500 BCE, they had issues, didn't they?
Oh, big time. Our sources say they were pretty inaccurate, maybe off by 1% or even more.
Why was that?
Well, a couple of things. Heavy beams, for one, and lots of friction in the pivot points. Made them not very sensitive, hard to get a percent's reading.
So how do they crack that? I mean, how do you go from a rough estimate to something reliable enough for, say, real trade?
It's fascinating, actually. There was this huge leap forward in Egypt's New Kingdom, so around 1570 BCE. This is where reliable accounting, you could argue, really begins.
Okay, what changed?
They tackled the friction problem head-on, introduced metal ring pivots much smoother. They also thinned out the ends of the balance beam for better sensitivity.
Makes sense. Lighter, less friction.
But the real game changer, the most important bit, they added a pointer and a plumb line.
Ah, so you can see exactly when it's balanced.
Yeah.
Repeatably.
Exactly. That little addition, the pointer lining up, that's the difference between kind of sort of balanced and actually balanced every single time. It basically allowed for calibration.
That must have totally changed how markets worked. Suddenly you have real precision.
It did. That whole setup boosted accuracy to better than 1 part per thousand. A massive improvement.
And this push for better accuracy, for standardization, it wasn't just Egypt, was it?
Not at all. You see similar ideas popping up elsewhere, like the Indus Valley civilization. They had this really interesting system with standardized weights.
The flint cubes.
Yeah, those flint cubes. They clearly understood binary math because the weights followed this precise ratio. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32.
That's incredibly organized. Makes calculations much easier, I imagine, dividing things up, multiplying.
For large-scale logistics, definitely. Really streamlined things across their trade networks.
And what about China?
Well, later, during the Warring States period, you see the Chu state developing these tiny, very specialized equal arm balances.
Specialized for what?
Specifically for weighing gold currency, things like the yin yuan. They even had unique little ring-shaped weights designed to sit perfectly in the small pans. Super precise, down to fractions of a gram to verify money and stop fraud.
Okay, so we've got these technical leaps, better pivots, pointers, standardized weights. Let's connect the dots. How did this shift from estimation to objective value really change societies?
Well, the invention of reliable scales, let's say around 3000 BCE, that was a huge economic turning point. It built trust. Suddenly, you could have long-distance trade, like across Western Asia, built on something verifiable, not just guesswork.
Right, but it's not just about trade, is it? What about state power running a whole society?
Measurement becomes absolutely fundamental to the centralized state. Take length, for example, the Egyptian royal cubit.
How long was that again?
Around 52.5 centimeters. And this wasn't just a suggestion, it was the standard length mandated for official records for big engineering projects.
Like the pyramid.
Exactly. Think about the Great Pyramid of Khufu. The error in the length of its base is less than 2 centimeters. That's astonishing precision, even by today's standards.
Wow. That really shows how seriously they took these standards.
But maybe the biggest impact was on, well, governance. Especially collecting taxes. Measurement lets states move away from just vague estimates.
Like, you owe us roughly this much grain.
Exactly. To having clear, verifiable accounts. The Chinese had this principle, zi su er shui.
What does that mean?
Roughly, tax based on measured grain yield. The key word is measured. The state had to actually measure the harvest before taxing it.
That sounds much fairer.
It was. This shift from guesswork to verifiable fact built stability. ensured a degree of fairness, and importantly for the rulers, it really strengthened central power. It was crucial during times like the Qin unification.
So it's clear these tools, the scales, the cubits, even things like water clocks we haven't touched on, they weren't just clever gadgets. They really laid the groundwork for, well, everything. Modern tech, global trade, science.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought for you, listening. Ancient cultures often tied measurement directly to deeper ideas. Power, yes, but also fairness, justice.
Like the Egyptian heart weighing ceremony.
Precisely, weighing the heart against the feather of Ma, the symbol of truth and order. It shows that this drive for precision, for accurate measurement, wasn't just about business, it was seen as a moral thing.
So measurement isn't just tech.
No, it's more fundamental. Seeking an accurate, standardized value. You could say that's one of the first steps towards building a rational, fair, and maybe even a just society. It's about finding common ground based on observable reality.